When it comes to 21st century, there are a lot of surprises, like a lot of things that are happening in the space of technology in terms of the usability of the Internet of Things, the IoT. You know, AI enabling capabilities are being brought up into the system to actually help to increase our productivity, and a lot of such AI applications has actually uh, been present, and they are actually being implemented in different ways, in different patterns of we working on how we increase our productivity. And one of them I know is ChatGPT, which a lot of people have been saying different things about it. And the only reason why I decided to talk about this AI is because some people are using this system to extract money from other people, telling them to come around and learn so that they can teach them how to use ChatGPT for certain amounts of money. Not against that though, because probably when you know something and you think you want to make money from it, you can always make money from it. But when some of those people who tend to be selling it don't even understand what the chat GPT is all about, or how to actually apply it in order to make money from it, in general sense, it's about the productivity. What you should know is that as long as your productivity level is high, up to doing what you love to do, the reward is always money, right? When you have a niche, let's say you're a content creator, ChatGPT can help you create as much content as possible in a very, very small space of time. Just in less than a second, ChatGPT can help you create a content that you can actually post on different platforms. But then it is required from your own side to still cross-check this content and see how human receptive it has, how natural they appear, right? So I just want to give you some insight, some hand on the way you can apply ChatGPT to make it give you a, one of the best results, like when you want it to give you a persona, right? Like you have to give it feedback because it's a language processing model. It learns as well. Like it's actually, we are using ChatGPT, but is in turn fed by those questions we're asking it. By that way, it's getting strong. That data that we're asking it helps it understand that these are part of human problems. These are part of the queries that people have, and you go around all the IOs, all the internet, all the different places, Google, Wikipedia, bunch of places, searching for results, combining data to actually produce the best results relating to the questions or the query that you actually threw to it. So this is not a human being, it's an AI, it's a robot. So it combines different specifications to actually provide the best result. So one way you can make the most or the best of it is actually to feed it with enough information. When I say enough information, I've heard so many people tell you to make your writing really long. It's not about making it really long, it's about giving it quality and detailed information concerning what you want it to do. Like it can answer virtually any question, but sometimes when you misuse it, you get the wrong feedback. Let's say you're talking to your chat GPT and you're asking it about food, about eating hygienically food, right? And it's giving you those feedbacks, it's answering those feedback, right? And then you cross over and you're asking it about education, and it goes over and it's answering that education. Now you're making this AI model kind of, it's just like you're feeding it with different things. Now the question is not in alignment with what you're talking about. It's no longer a topic. Now you're asking it like an exam, so it's just going to provide different answers from different array. You have a conversation with it like a human being, right? Let's say you want to get the best type of a history book, right? You might not necessarily ask it to just write you a 100 or 1,000 page of history about Iran and bed, right? You can feed it gradually, according to how you want your book to be like. Okay, but then it is important before you start chatting with this AI bot to give it a persona. When you give it a persona, it assumes to be that persona in which you've given it. Because if you don't give it a persona, it end up giving you advice instead of giving you a result, right? That's where you're getting it wrong. Like if you don't give it a persona, it end up giving you advice. It won't give you the best of answer, right? What do I mean by giving it persona? Let's say you are a doctor. Let's say you want to hear a prescription about some certain illness. Probably you want to prescribe a medication for an elderly person, right? And you want to use the help of the ChatGPT to actually get the best medical advice. Like, I'm not asking you to go ahead and do medical stuff, because it's about people's health. You should consult a professional in this time. I am just using this as an instance to actually help you to get your hands on it. It doesn't matter if it's about the medical term that you want to talk about, or it's about your particular profession, to actually improve what you're doing, right? So, but I am using this as an example. Let's say you want to make a drug prescription for an elderly, right? Now, instead of just asking ChatGPT to provide you treatment for an elderly person or for somebody sick of arthritis, so this is how you approach it. Take the persona of a medical doctor. I will provide you detail of a patient, and your task is to use the latest artificial intelligence tool and other learning program in order to diagnose an elderly person. Now you further give it an authentication to make sure that the information is providing is correct. By giving it this information, in your evaluation or finding, take a physical evaluation of your information to make sure that the information you're providing is correct and accurate. So my request is, I need a help to diagnose a serious arthritis on an elderly patient. So note that after telling the ChatGPT that I'm going to provide information about a patient, number one, I told it that the patient is an elderly person. Number two, I told it to actually use the latest technology of artificial intelligence. Number three, right? I'm going to provide you an information, right? And I told him the type of information about the patient. Then I told him who the patient is. It's not a baby, it's not anybody, but an elderly person, right? And I told it that you're not just going to use any random type of treatment, because there are a bunch of treatments that can be found on the internet. So because this AI model or bot is actually looking for different information to answer your query, so you have to give it a pattern to drive on. Now I'm telling it to use the latest technology model in medicine. Now it's going to search for the latest research around this type of treatment, right? So I go further and tell it that after making your research, still further research to make sure that this information that you've provided is correct. So now you're giving it a final check to actually provide information and recheck and still recheck before it brings it down to you. And because it's an AI, it's a bot, it's really fast. Like, you don't really have to bother about how long it's going to take to actually provide this, because it's going to do it in a split second. So it's going to provide you with the latest information and research and give you the best information. And now, after telling it that, then I hit it with a point. The point is provide a diagnosis of somebody with a chronic arthritis. So that way you are gonna get the best and perceived result off of this bot. Try it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. Like, you don't need to pay heavy money, you don't need to attend lecture to use it, right? It's out there for you. And you have to know that we are in the generation where our productivity level has to increase by what we learn. As soon as you put in your head down, learning, reading, a lot of AI assisted applications will be saving everything you're interested in down to you as an algorithm, and that will also help to improve your productivity. And aside from the one I just mentioned, the ChatGPT, there are other applications that you can as well apply. Just search for them. You don't like this time is actually the generation of asking question. The more question you ask, who are you asking? You don't need to ask me. Ask the ChatGPT, ask the internet. You're gonna get the answer. I hope this helps somebody. Thank you guys.